Go.
Good day everyone, we are the group 4, Gomera, Ikia, and Grana. Our topic is that errors and health effects of radar. Our course outcome. This lesson will help learners to know the errors and health effects of radar. Our learning outcome. At the end of the session, the students shall be able to determine the radar errors and the possible health effects of radar. So what are the possible health effects of radar? Most studies conducted to date examine the health effects other than cancer. They prove physiological and thermoregulatory responses, behavioral changes and effects such as the induction of lens opacities or the cataracts, and adverse reproductive outcome following acute exposure to relatively high levels of RF fields. There are also a number of studies that report non-thermal effects where no appreciable rise in temperature can be measured. So, the studies conducted to examine the, negative effects of the radar to our health. So, one of the example is the cataracts. Cancer-related studies. Many epidemiological studies have addressed possible links between exposure to RF exists risk of cancer. However, because of differences in the design and execution of these studies, their results are difficult to interpret. A number of national and international peer review groups have concluded that there is no clear evidence of links between RF exposure and excess risk of cancer. WHO, or the World Health Organization, has also concluded that there is no convincing scientific evidence that exposure to RF shortens the lifespans of humans, or that RF is an inducer or promoter of cancer. However, further studies are necessary. So there are cancer-related studies that conducted in this issue. So this is the example of skin cancer as you can see in our screen. So yes, next. So these are the radar errors. First is the heading marker alignment. Second is the EBL not alignment. Third, gyro input with error. Fourth, improper tuning. Fifth, improper range. Sixth, blind sector. Seven, adjustment brain clutter or the sec clutter. Eight, on vessel date input error. Nine, range and bearing discrimination. 10, beam with distortion. 11, side lobe echo. 12, multiple echo. And 13, second trace echo.
So for radar errors, first is the heading marker alignment. A collision point could appear off the heading marker in a collision situation. When the same error appears in both heading marker and calculation, as might occur due to a gyro compass error, the collision case will always show the collision point on the heading marker. The second is the EBL not alignment. The EBL system has a limited area of exposure, the writing field, and the large pattern is divided into many writing field exposed side by side with stage movement between each field exposure. The deviation from perfect alignment between consecutive writings field is called stitching error. Next slide. The blind sector. A sector on the radar scope in which radar echoes cannot be received because of an obstruction near the antenna. So it is called the blind sector. The fourth is the rain clutter. The rain clutter is a term used for unwanted echoes in electronic systems, particularly in reference to radars. Such echoes are typically returned from ground, sea, rain, animals, or insect, chaff, and atmospheric turbulences, and can cause serious performance issues with radar system. So next slide please. So in range discrimination, two small targets on same bearing and slight range difference may be shown as on target. Bearing discrimination, two small targets on same range and slight bearing difference may be shown as one target, so that is called false echoes. So in beam with distortion, the finite beam width of the radar results in echoes being extended in the azimuth direction, called azimuth distortion. It is apparent that azimuth distortion will result in an enlargement of a target by approximately one half beam width on either side. So total enlargement is equal to one beam width. So for the next reporter is Kadatikia.
So under radar errors is side lobe echo. The finite beam width of the radar results in echoes being extended in the azimuth direction, called azimuth distortion. It is apparent that azimuth distortion will result in enlargement of a target by approximately one half beam width on the other side. So total enlargement is equal to one beam width. Next, radar errors is multiple echo. Multiple echoes may occur when a strong echo is received from another ship at close range. A second or third or more echoes may be observed on the radar scope at double, triple, or other multiples of the actual range of the radar contact. Next, radar errors is second trace echo. All the multiple trace echoes are echoes received from a contact at an actual range greater than the radar range setting. If an echo from a distant target is received after the following pulse has been transmitted, the echo will appear on the radar scope at the correct bearing but not at the true range. Second trace echoes are unusual except under abnormal atmospheric condition or condition under which superrefraction is present. And one of the limitations of ship radar is that it may able to detect an object due to its size, proximity to sea surface, or when the object is a poor radar target. Because of its construction or design, for example, military ships are designed so that radar waves do not reflect back to the receiving unit of radar scanner. This also happens with wooden fishing boat as they have poor radar reflective surface. Small inlet boats engaged in fishing are also difficult to sight visually at night. Sometimes they may have not been seen during daytime from the bridge due to the height or the angle of viewing or reflection of the sea surface. When navigating in the proximity of such vessels or their known operating areas, it is good practice to post an alert lookout with a walkie-talkie on the forecastle deck. So this is a picture of a lookout in a forecastle is closer to sea surface and has a better chance of sighting small craft. So as you can see in the image, there's a large vessel and a small craft. So when a lookout is present in the forecastle, he can sight small crafts and he can better has a better chance of maneuvering safely during night or day. So seaweed is giving very good radar returns due to highly reflective surface. It had covered the whole sea surface during low water, but because it was the ship's first call to a port area, which was not well surveyed, uh, so this one is an example of seaweed giving a radar returns due to highly reflective. So some seaweeds have high reflection due to sunlight. So it will appear on the radar as a because of its highly reflective surface. So that may also cause radar errors. And that's all for our report. Thank you.